Hey everybody, this is my Synodontis eupterus, and if you'll notice there in the corner there is a slice of cucumber, and my catfish is finally going after it. I've tried putting cucumber in tanks before long ago, and I never had any luck with any fish ever bothering it. And today I actually tried several of my tanks, and I came in to check to see if anybody was doing anything with any of it, and I saw no activity on the cucumber at all. I didn't get, nothing. And so I was actually picking up the camera here to start shooting a video about something else, and I noticed my catfish found the cucumber here. So we do have some good nummies going on here. I like the way the Tenopoma keeps trying to come down there to get in on the action. I think he just wants to see what's going on. This is a very carnivorous fish. Often a piscivore will eat other fish. So I don't think the cucumber is anything it's going to be terribly interested in. But I know my Synodontis here is a plant eater. It loves the algae wafers when I put them in the tank. And of course it also eats the plants that are in here. And I do have some other vegetarian type fish. Well, I guess these aren't vegetarian because these are meat eaters too, but these are off-wax grazers. They scrape surfaces clean. That's why this tank looks so lovely. I've also got another couple down here. I've got this bristlenose. This is a female bristlenose, and then somewhere around here I've got one more of those chocolate zebra plecos, which we were just looking at. That's what these two are. So between them and the Synodontis here, I've got, quite a few vegetable eating type fish in this tank that would certainly like that cucumber, or so I suspected. But so far, that little bit of activity with that Synodontis is all I've seen, and you can see it pretty much nibbled on it for a few minutes, and now it's kind of back hanging out in the tank waiting for its normal dinner, which it would normally be getting around this time. And that would be the algae wafers that I normally put in the tank. So let's walk over here and see if we can see anything going on in my native tank. I put 2 slices in here, and the last I saw of one, it was way back on the rocks back there. The current had caught it and moved it back there, so I don't even see it now. And this tank should have, oh look, there we go. I was hoping that would be the case. I was just about to say this tank has crayfish in it, and I would suspect the crayfish would love a piece of cucumber. And look right there, we've got crayfish has found himself a piece of cucumber and got a hold of it and drug it back into its cave. So that's good to see. The cucumber is definitely getting some activity here in the native tank. We've got some crayfish action going on. I'm trying to look around and see if I can see the other one. Try to zoom back in on that crayfish a little bit. Kind of down there in the darkness, hard to see, but it's tearing that apart. So I'm definitely going to make the cucumbers a regular part of the diet of this tank now. Maybe I can ease up on the amount of algae wafers I put in there, and I can just focus on putting more fresh vegetables in. I'm sure if they like that, they'll probably eat zucchini, maybe even some leafy greens. Oh, I can see the other, see it down there between those 2 rocks. So I do have the Chinese algae eater, and then I've got that high-fin spotted pleco, or whatever that actually is, in here. So hopefully those 2 will be able to get some food from that. I didn't put anything here in my T-bar tank. I thought about it because of the snails, and you can see, I'm guessing that one there is flash. They're hard to tell apart, but I've got one in here that's like an acrobat for snails. And of course there's another one hitching a ride on his back right now, or possibly her back. I don't really know how that works with snails. So no cucumber in that tank. However, this tank has not only this high-finned spotted pleco right there, but I also have a rubber lip pleco in this tank. I did see it the other day, so I know it's still alive. I mentioned recently in a video that I wasn't sure if it was even still in here. It's been a while since I'd seen it, but I did see it 2 days ago, so as of then it was still looking good. But no activity whatsoever on the cucumber there. And then this tank, my gourami tank, I've got loads of fish in here that would love it, and you can see there's a rubber lip pleco in the back. But the main reason I wanted to put some in here is for my whiptail catfish. It's hanging on the back of the woodwork right there. You can actually see this little black line as its tail, and it's hanging on the wood. It's almost impossible to see. They're very well camouflaged. But one of the pieces is floating right here and is stuck in the roots, and the other piece you can actually see in the reflection there is stuck to the filter. And that's the only activity I saw. I didn't see anybody in this tank interested at all. The Corys didn't go after it. I didn't see any of the smaller loaches or anything on the bottom seem to bother it or anything. So not much activity with the cucumbers. It's possible that the fish don't really recognize it as food, and over time maybe they'll get to. I don't know. But right now it doesn't seem like it's going to be a whole lot of food for most of these fish. We know the crayfish will eat it. I think that's the most I've ever seen those Corys grouping together. If you look in the reflection at the end of the tank, you can see I think 5 Corys there together. Or is that... yeah, that's all 5 of them there together. I was never sure how many I had in this tank because I've never seen them all in one group. And that doesn't mean I don't have more. I think I put 7 or 8 of them in here originally. So there's at least 5 Corys still in there. And again, if any of them are scattered out around other parts of the tank, I might have even more. So that's the only tanks I put the cucumbers in. Thought about maybe putting some in this tank, but I decided I would wait and see how it went with some of my other tanks. This is my angelfish tank. I just recently made a minor modification to this. I cut the woodwork back a little bit. It was really prominent, kind of took over the whole tank. And now it's not quite so in your face. You don't see that woodwork quite so, much. But I do have the same amount of wood in the tank, so I'm getting the same amount of tannin production. And for the, I got a clown pleco and a rubber lip pleco in this tank, and both of them like to have a piece of wood to chew on in there and scrape on. It's good for the digestion, so I've got that taken care of. And this is another tank I thought about putting a slice of cucumber in. I've got a lot of live bears that one of my viewers sent me, and they're still in quarantine right now. And it's not going to be too much longer. I only put them in quarantine tank just to kind of get them sorted out. I did get them from, a foreign tank. It's always good to quarantine them. But I trust that they weren't coming from a, tank infected with ick or anything. I was told that everything's fine with them, and I believe that it is, and they certainly look good. But I just needed a place to put them until I can get them sorted out and figured out who's going to go where. You can see I've got 2 what appear to be female neon swordtails, and then I've got the 1 male in the back. And I've actually got 2 female neon swordtails and 1 male in this tank already. So I don't know if I want to double that up and just have a whole bunch of them in here. I do have some tanks upstairs that I could put some smaller fish like that in. And I don't know, we'll see. Like I say, I've got options. The live bears, I suppose, technically could even go in my native tank. I just don't know if I want to do that or not. And then that brings us back to where we started. We're here at my 125 with my Synodontis munching away. So it's good to see that he likes it. This is one of my favorite fish. He's one of my oldest fish. I've had him for about 5 years now. I guess maybe pushing 6. I lose track of time. It's hard to say. I say 5 years for so long that it seems like I've been saying that for about a year now. I should probably start saying 6. So I guess around 2012 I started keeping fish, and then by maybe 2013, early 2014, I was getting a little more serious about it. And the fish room was starting to take shape, so it's hard to say exactly when I bought this one. But this one, along with my Synodontis, my Tenopoma, that always pals around with this guy here. There's some of my older fish. I got them pretty early on. So, interesting to see. So, I'm going to call that good. I do want to have a little more of a discussion about my garden tank here in the middle. I always have to turn the light off on this one whenever I'm filming anything else, because when this light's on, it overpowers everything else in the room, and you've got glare and reflection, and the tanks just are hard to get good video of and everything. So I'm just about done with my daylilies on this tank. Got a few left to finish blooming. I'm down here every day deadheading the old ones. I've even had to pick a few floating deceased flowers out of this tank down here where they've dropped, and I've even had a couple of leaves come off of this and drop down in there. So, not going to really get into a discussion about this tank. We'll save that for its own video. I'll just leave you with one final look at it. So, thanks for having a little informal chat with me. I guess that was supposed to be a look at the cucumbers, but we got a little bit of look at everything. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget, this one here is my garden tank. See you real soon in the next one.